Hey, this is Derrik Jordan. Welcome to the World Fusion Show, where we bring you the leading innovators in world fusion music. Today, my guest is Sweet Plantain, who are a string quartet, but no ordinary string quartet, I have to say. And representing them today is Eddie Venegas, who is a violinist and, amazingly enough, trombone player in the quartet. Welcome, Eddie Venegas, to the World Fusion Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Derek, for having us or having me here. Great show, a lot of stuff there to see, and it's almost too much to see, and then you spend a lot of time watching good videos. So
well, it's true.
It's not good sometimes.
It's too much. It is too much. And we have so many fantastic guests. We Skype all over the world with every kind of imaginable instrument. But I've been wanting to get you guys on for so long. I heard your music, I don't know, 3 years ago or so, and just was knocked out by your playing, by your concept. And it's so unusual because you also double on trombone, and one of your other violinists doubles on mandolin, and you are amazing at both those instruments as well. And that is quite unusual for a string quartet to bring that in. So please tell me a little bit about your concept and your background in music.
Yeah, well, I was born and raised in Caracas, Venezuela, and started violin when I was 3 or 4 or something, really, really young. And then decided at some point as a teenager to become a musician. So my goal was to come to the United States and get a degree on performance. By that time, there was not such a thing in Venezuela. So decided to come here and get my bachelor's and start with classical violin, like every classical violin, instrumentalist, maybe play an orchestra or chamber music. And then somebody loaned me a trombone. And I always liked the trombone, but I never had one. And I borrowed this thing just to have fun, break away a little bit from the routine of being classical violinist. And it just fell in love with it. And then it just kept going, and I got a little better, and then it got serious, and I started doing gigs playing both. And at the same time, being in New York City, you're exposed to a lot of cultures and music that be outside the classical world. And in my case, I'm a Latino person who grew up with salsa music and never played salsa music or Latin music before. And funny enough, I started playing Latin music here outside my country in New York City, and started to play with these different bands and, as a way to pay for my studies, to continue pursuing my classical career. But then my career moved to the Latin side of things. So I kept practicing both, playing gigs with salsa music, finished my master's. And then I realized, this is part of my life. So I want to make a group that has both, the classical background and sounds. Classical music on violin is the best ever, because it's just, nothing fits perfect. It's very hard to top Bach or Mozart or Beethoven on string instruments.
That's right.
But you could use components of their music and components of other kinds of music and improvisation and make something unique. And that's how Sweet Plantain, the inspiration for Sweet Plantain was to explore all this stuff.
So you guys do really a wide range of music. Definitely, there's a Latin focus to the music. And we're going to go to our first video, which is a classic Brazilian tune, Chega De Saudade, written by Antonio Carlos Jobim and Vinicius G. Moraes. A lot of times people forget about Vinicius, but he was he was part of all those great early compositions by Jobim, and a wonderful composer himself. But tell us a little bit about this great video of Chega De Saudade.
Well, this video was a concert in Sweden, I believe, and we had a tour in 2014, and this was our closing. People love this arrangement, and this arrangement is funny because I made the arrangement for a concert we had years ago, and we had a singer, and then it works so well. So instead of having the singer, I play the melody on the trombone, and it fits really well. Classic Brazilian music and trombone trombone is used there in many ways, and but then there was a problem with the page turn, and I'm a horrible copyist. Like, so instead of fixing people so people could turn their pages and I could switch from violin and trombone, we decided to do rhythms with our mouth, with our voice.
Yeah, it's great.
And that's how it was a solution for the page turn thing.
It worked great.
So that's what that video does.
So let's go to the video right now and watch this. It's so fantastic. Wow, I just love that song, of course, and your version of it, especially with the vocal stuff. It's really nice at the end there. Now, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, because you grew up as a classical musician, but you embraced improvisation and the other members of your group as well. And talk a little bit about that process for you.
For me, was something that I was always doing as a kid. And my father was a singer, self-taught musician. You know, he played bass, harp, and cuatro, which is the Venezuelan ukulele. And he would sing a lot of songs, and I would just play along with him. So even as a kid, I would just make up stuff. Then I discovered jazz and all that stuff, and I was fascinated by it. And I was always trying to improvise on the violin. If you don't study it, it's difficult, and then you kind of have to find your way to do it on instruments like the violin. When I went to school, I went to Queens College, so I was fortunate to have Roland Hanna that teaching a class for undergraduates. The jazz program was for graduates. So I was taking his class, and then when I started doing some jazz standards and try to incorporate that stuff on both violin and trombone. And you know, it's been always a joy to be able to express yourself in a different way than classical music. And for myself, I need both.
Yeah.
The improvisatory stuff and also the classical written out stuff.
That's great. Now we're going to go to our next video, and this is quite unusual. This is a tune you call Excursions. It has a rap and a drum set to go along with the string quartet. Why don't you just say something about it?
Yeah, this composition was done by our late former founding member, David Gotay. He lost his life 6 years ago, due to cancer. He was very young, and it was a very, very hard time for us we miss him very much. And this song, he was a rapper. He grew up in the Bronx, rapping on the street and doing this stuff. And then went to classical music school. He went to Manhattan School of Music, studying classical cello. So he, like me, he wanted to incorporate both worlds. And this song is based on a song by Tribe Called Quest. And he did an amazing job putting it all together.
I think so too. Let's go to the video right now.
In the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a pager, you can find the abstract, listening to hip-hop. My pops used to say it reminded him of bebop. I said, well, daddy, don't you know that things go in cycles? Later Bobby Brown is just amping like Michael. It's all expected, things are overlooking.
That was so cool. Nice to hear that combination with the string quartet. I think that's very hip. Now, you guys have recently received a grant and you're setting up some new things, upcoming shows and stuff. Tell us what's coming up for you.
Yeah, this grant is actually our next concert is given by the New York City. It's called the City Artists Corp grant, and it's a $5,000 concert that you're supposed to do open for the public. So our proposal was to do a concert at in an area where that was heavily impacted by the pandemic, and then this concert we're going to call Viajes por las Américas, Journey Through the Americas. So we're doing featuring all these Latin American composers, some of my stuff, and as well as Astor Piazzolla, Paquito de Rivera, Aldemaro Romero, and others. And this is at the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning on October 7th at 4 p.m. And you could look at it in our website. We also have a concert in November 12th at this new place that seems to be pretty cool. It's called Chelsea Table and Stage, or Plus Stage, at November 12th at 7 p.m. And you could also check all this at sweetplantain.com.
That's right.
And we also have on October 12th in Central Park, we're celebrating the 100 years of a local 802. So we're part of their show there, and you could also look us up there. So, but the grant is great. So we're doing. We feel like we're serving the community, and the community in Jamaica has a ton of people from all over the world, not only Latino, but everyone. Every country is concentrated in Jamaica and Johnson Heights. Queens is just so diverse.
That's right.
It's nice to do a concert like this there.
We're going to go to our next video, and this is an original composition of yours. Want to say a little about it? Yeah,
Venezuelan is Beg is a composition of mine that I wanted to dedicate to Swedish people while I was in Sweden. So I literally wrote this on the van, and I used some songs of theirs and combined it with my composition. And then created this thing that we played there during the tour that we had there we were there for a month playing all over the place, beautiful country. And I was inspired by this little town, Sveg, where we got there and it was almost night and it was snowing a little bit and it was just so quiet and it was almost scary outside the church we were going to play at. And then I had this feeling of quiet, happiness, and a little bit of fear, this very unusual feeling of being somewhere that you're not from and being so peaceful and mysterious at the same time. So that's sort of all there.
That's great. Let's go to the video right now. All right, we are back with Eddie Venegas from the wonderful group Sweet Plantain. So tell us what else you'd like to share with our audience.
Well, I like to share a few projects. We're working on putting some of this stuff on a record that in these videos that we want to do a live concert, a live recording of all these compositions that you guys heard. Also, separate to that is this Canciones Latinoamericanas, Latin American song. So we wanted to do a series of 2 or 3 albums. One would be lullabies, the other one would be about love, and the other one would be maybe political or anger or something. I still haven't come up with the third one. But the idea was to get arrangements for string quartet and singers, and to have different singers and the string quartet performing all these different songs from Latin America. So that's definitely my next project with this group.
Sounds great. Now we have one more video to go to. This is really interesting. And this is a arrangement of yours for a classic Cole Porter song, Love for Sale. It's really interesting. So let's go to the video right now. it's Derrik, and I'm back with Eddie Venegas from the group Sweet Plantain. I just wanted to thank you, Eddie, for joining us today on the World Fusion Show. It's been fantastic to have you and have you share your wonderful music with our audience.
Well, thank you for having us, and I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe in the future we could play together.
That would be an incredible pleasure, and I certainly would look forward to that. Hey, it's Derrik Jordan. Thank you for joining us today on the World Fusion Show. It's been great to have you. We have so many more amazing shows with fantastic guests coming up, so please stay tuned, tell your friends. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and let's spread this great music all over the planet. I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Mackenzie Family Charitable Trust, Dean's Beans, Nancy Feinberg, Jeff Green, and Ron Dans for your generous support. And, as we like to say on the show, every time, think globally, listen locally, and support independent music.